I can't be the only person that's been calling out the horrendous booking, lapsadaisical storytelling, just overall prevailing issues currently going on in all elite wrestling. You don't need to be somebody that's a hardcore fan to see it. At this point in time, you could be a nobody. You could be blind like Stevie Wonder and see there are problems with AEW. But the wrestling's good, right? The fact that we have stories that make no sense. Oh, there are stories. But the storytelling is so bad, it's hard to discern what that story is. Certain talents get start and stop pushes. Randomly booked matches with no purpose, no direction. But the wrestling's good, right? And then you have fans like me who genuinely want to see the company prosper. Because I believe that the wrestling business is better when AEW is at its best, pushing the envelope and making WWE stay on their toes, competing with the WWE logistically. Because if you don't have two major promotions competing for that top spot, and you allow one company to have a monopoly over the wrestling business, nobody benefits from that. But people in the business don't seem to understand that. We're too busy booking for ourselves, Tony. And for it feels like maybe half a year, maybe even longer, AEW has been a one-man show. It's been a show booked for one man and one man only. An audience of one. And that's Tony Khan. Maybe we'll be lucky to get a banger. Maybe a couple of bangers. But this man ain't booking the show for you. He's booking the show for him and the sickos, as he calls them. And every week things continue to make less and less and less and less sense. And when you call it out, here come the sickos, gaslighting you, making you feel like garbage, telling you to stop watching, off of the smallest of criticisms. Well, guess what? You got your wish. But the wrestling's good, right? AEW Dynamite. More specifically, the June 19th, 2024 edition of AEW Dynamite is going down in history as one of the lowest viewed shows in the company's 5-year tenure. I would hate for it to get lower than this, but something tells me it's going to get better. No, I wish it would get better. Let me rephrase that. Let me try that again. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Raj Giri, Wrestling Inc., by the way. Shout out to him. Said the following. Hashtag AEW Dynamite averaged 502,000 viewers. That's a drop of 26% from last week. And last week was a pretty bad rating. But they had the finals to contend with, so there's always an excuse, right? Oh, were there any finals this week, by the way? No, there weren't any. No NBA, no NHL, no NFL, no streaming, no nothing. No sports. It was all professional wrestling. Continuing. As I said, drop 26% with a 0.16 for the 18 to 49 demo. That's a 30% drop from last week. Those are the lowest numbers in the show's history for its regular time slot. Ever. Period. Lower than when they had the show during the pandemic with no fans. Year over year, Dynamite was down 44% in total viewers, with the 18 to 49 rating dropping 52%. This is confirmed, by the way, straight from WrestleNomics. Oh, but the wrestling's good, right? Now what's the excuse? Why did we let it get this bad? Why wouldn't the people who are running the show listening to the criticisms that isn't just coming from me, from every other top content creator, every other fan that spent their hard-earned money to watch your goddamn shows, to go to your shows, to buy your pay-per-views, to buy your merchandise? They're coming on Twitter, they're going on social media to tell you this shit sucks. The booking is terrible. There is no substance, there is no meat to what you're doing. You're just going in to fight forever, pressing random, and whatever match comes out, that's what we get. You can't do that anymore. That has lost its luster. You now have to give your audience substance. You are 5 years in, getting ready to negotiate a new TV deal, TV rights deal. And you can't even be bothered to put your best foot forward? And here's what's sad about this particular episode. I actually thought this particular episode, in case y'all didn't watch the review, spoiler alert, you didn't. I saw the numbers on that video. That was sad too. I was sitting here going, why is this video getting lower viewers than usual? Is it just the time of day I posted it? Is it just the thumbnail? I was sitting here thinking it was me. No, here's the reason why people aren't watching that video. It's because people don't care. They don't care anymore about AEW. What in God's name happened to this company? Why did it get this bad? Why is it this bad? And don't gaslight me into thinking it's not a big deal. Stop it. You can't spin this. There is no spinning this. This is objectively bad. We've reached a point now where the show is no longer one of those things where it was bad, but the numbers didn't reflect it. They're still bringing in the audience. They're still bringing in viewership. They're still doing merchandise sales, doing great in terms of business and other numbers that I'm not going to express right now, right? But the quality of the show was bad. Now we've reached a point where even the numbers are reflecting that the show is bad. Even though the show may once in a while be pretty good, like it was this past week. This is a worse position to be in than you were before, because you could have at least made up for it. You can't make up for it now. So what do? What can you do other than to call out what it is? It sucks. Why does it suck? It simply sucks because the people in charge aren't doing their jobs properly and booking the show to appease their fans. This is not a show that's being booked for you or me. This is a show that's being booked for a man with an ego who wants to appease people that think he knows what he's doing. That's why Tony Khan says he books the shows for him and the sickos. The sickos being anybody that thinks what Tony Khan is doing is wonderful. Thank you, almighty Tony Khan. No, it's not good, Tony. It's garbage. And someone needs to say it. And I've been saying it for the longest time. And I've been trying to be nice about it. I'm done being nice about it now. I already know this video is going to do more views than my actual review. So I might as well use some of the points I said in my last video. MJF right now is the literal saving grace, the bastion of your show. He is all you have. No matter how good Will Ospreay is, no matter how good Swerve Strickland is, no matter how good Timeless Tony Storm is, MJF is the guy. And even with him on your show, you still did the lowest rating possible. If that's not a flashing red flag in your goddamn faces, what is? What is? I would love to see someone spend this. You can't. When are we going to wake up and realize that there are some issues that need to be fixed? Storytelling issues. People being used properly. Certain talents who are spinning their wheels, stuck in the same spots. How many times has Daniel Garcia gotten a push to a championship and not won a single one? Hook, stuck in the same spot. One of the best talents you had, one of the youngest, most popular talents, is extremely cold now. Now he's with Samoa Joe. Hopefully that can rebuild him, but what's going to happen when it doesn't work? How many times are these talents going to continue to be booked like garbage before they realize, you know what? Maybe it's just best I go to WWE and let them use me properly. You tell me when I'm telling lies. Am I lying? How low does it need to go? That's the real question. If 500K isn't concerning for your A show, then how low does it need to go before we finally go, okay, you know what? Yeah, this isn't working. I talked about the new Elite in my last video that you didn't watch. One of the things that I got heat for on Twitter was asking, what's their purpose? What are they doing here? Why are they getting so much TV time? They're here to take over AEW? Okay, why? To do what exactly? And why should we hate them? They just feel like an average power-hungry group. They're just here to, I guess, abuse their power and put themselves over. Where's the intrigue in that? And what is that building to? Also, why does that matter now that Tony Khan is back? You have 4 of your best talents. As much as I don't like him, he's one of your best talents. Jack Perry, of course, the man himself, Kazuchika Okada, and the Young Bucks. One of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team in wrestling today. And this is how you use them? Now we're doing a blood and guts match with Swerve, the Acclaimed. I'm assuming we're adding a 5th person on both teams. What? Hangman Page for the Elite and MJF? I suppose? Will Ospreay? I don't know. And so I'm thinking, okay, but where is all this going? What is the point? The wrestling! God damn it, guys! We've gone the complete opposite direction of what WWE was in 2009, 2010, 2011, to about 2000, honestly, till Triple H took over, if I'm being honest with you. So over 10 years. My problem with that WWE was the fact that we got little to no wrestling, all story and character. And the story and character was garbage. That was terrible. We've gone the complete opposite now, where it's all wrestling, no story or character. Are there some semblances of story and character? Yes, Tony Storm is somebody that I consider to be a strong character. Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe. There are talents that can make it work, that can create interest for your shows. There are stories that have potential, but overall, AEW isn't executing it very well. And so when I ask that question, what's the story? Sometimes it's not the fact that they don't have a story, It's the fact that the storytelling is so goddamn bad, it's hard to discern what that story is. You suck so much at your job, we don't even know what the story is anymore. If you're that bad, it's time to give up the book, Tony Khan. I'm seeing rumors of Shane McMahon potentially coming into AEW. I don't believe it. I think it's a long shot, but if there's a hint of a possibility, the smallest possibility, minute, no matter how small it is, that he could come in, you pick up that phone, you call Shane McMahon, you give him the book. Is Shane McMahon a good booker? I don't fucking know. Didn't he book the 2022 Royal Rumble? That was garbage. So maybe he's not that bad. Maybe he's not that great either. But I'm pretty sure he has to be even a small, tiny bit better than Tony Khan. Because didn't Shane run SmackDown in 2006 to 2007 when Ryan Ward wrote the show? And then Road Dogg took over. But ultimately, he ran SmackDown for that short period of time, right? And Stephanie ran Raw. SmackDown was amazing. Maybe Shane is exactly what they need. At this point, anyone's better than Tony Khan. Tony ain't it, man. It's nothing personal against Tony, but he just is not good at his job. And I'm sick and tired of this show continuing to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And these wrestlers continuing to put their bodies on the line, injuring themselves. I just saw that Athena got hurt. You remember Athena? Yeah, that woman that we thought was going to be a integral part of the women's division is just stuck on Ring of Honor. Well, she got hurt. She's going to be out for what, 6 months? But here's the good thing. They're keeping the belt on her. That's right. They're not going to vacate the Ring of Honor championship from her. In what word does that make sense? Oh, wait, it doesn't matter because no one watches Ring of Honor, so no one cares, right? That's the kind of mindset we're dealing with. This man doesn't care about growing his company, about making AEW better, because he already thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. He can't see the issues because he doesn't see issues. He's incapable of seeing the issues, and he doesn't improve them. He doesn't want to improve them. It was funny before. Now it's not. If you saw this rating and you thought that AEW is in great shape, you're part of the problem. Everybody should be concerned. You should have been concerned way before this, but objectively speaking, right now in this moment, you should be concerned for AEW. If you're not, you're part of the problem. Can we now admit that AEW is in trouble? It was in trouble, it's been in trouble, but now it's undisputable. You can't debate this. This is bad. What are you going to say? Well, they'll go up next week. Okay, so they'll go up to what, 600? What if they don't? Then what will you say? How low does it need to go before you realize that this isn't working and changes are needed? Less viewers means less money for advertisers, which means less advertising money, which means Warner Bros. Discovery loses money, which means AEW gets put on the chopping block. Which means wrestlers no longer have a place to wrestle. And we're back to a monopoly. If you don't see that problem, we shouldn't be having this discussion. Call it out now before we get there. AEW is our last chance. We will never get another opportunity like this ever again. Once AEW, and I'm praying to God that it doesn't happen, but if AEW ever does go out of business, that's it. That's it. Good luck finding another possible competitor with a billionaire that could run it, that wants to run it, to compete with WWE. Good luck. Unfortunately, me coming up here and ranting my ass off, you know what's going to happen? You'll get people in the comments saying, you're making a big deal, it's not that deep, blah, 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 blah. The wrestling's great. They did this with TNA. They did this with WWE back when it sucked. They defended the company even when it was bad. They didn't want to admit that there are issues, even when, objectively speaking, there are issues. Why do you care about ratings? The ratings are a great indication of how the company's doing. If people are watching it less and less and less and less, that means people don't care about it. What about Raw or SmackDown? No one's talking about Raw or SmackDown. By the way, yes, the ratings are low for that as well, but we already know that when SummerSlam comes around, they're going to go back up. I can't say that for AEW when All In comes around. I think this might be it. 500K to about 700K. Maybe once in a while they'll hit a 800K, 900K, and I'm praying 1 million. That's a Hail Mary at this point. But I feel like we found the audience that regularly watches it. 500K to maybe 700K. Are you happy with that? Even if you don't care about the business side of things, are you happy with AEW where it is now? Watching these shows where the crowds aren't packed? This Wednesday, you had half an audience. That's better than what they had before. 500K is better than 1,000. But don't you get sick and tired of these photos appearing on the internet where half the arena is gone? Don't you miss the days when AEW was able to sell out arenas? Where there was literal buzz for the company? Don't you want that back? Do you actually care about AEW? Or are you just someone that just hates WWE so much you'll get behind anything that's not WWE? Sometimes tribalism doesn't work. What do you want me to say? How low does it need to go? Are we ready, finally ready to admit that AEW is in trouble? Because if it's not now, I should just give up and admit that this is a ship that's just going to sink. And before people really admit that things are bad, it's already too late. I would hate for us to get to that point with AEW. Oh, doom and gloom. I mean, I'm sorry. If this is not the time to wave the red flag, then what is? Explain that point to me. Should we have to wait where no one's showing up? Is that where we have to be? Where nobody shows up? And the audience is already averaging 1,000 to 2,000, so I don't know what else you need me to say here. But okay, what, 500, 300, where they can't even afford to do an arena? They have to do a small building? Why does it have to hit rock bottom, like legit, absolute rock bottom, before people go, okay, you know what? Changes need to be done. No, make the changes while the business is still in enough shape to turn things around and get their numbers back up. Don't wait till you hit rock bottom where it doesn't matter anymore, and it doesn't matter how hard you try, you can't come out of that rut. Don't listen to these content creators who don't know what they're talking about. I am telling you what I know from speaking to people in the business. That's not me sounding arrogant. This is me telling you what I've learned. And you won't hear me just saying this. You'll hear all the other people who have done it, who have been there, say the exact same thing. This is bad. Objectively speaking, AEW is not doing good. It wasn't already doing good, but you had the numbers to make up for it, right? To hide behind. Now you don't have them no more. So now what are you going to do? You need to change. Get your rear in gear, man. Tell better stories. Make these people matter. Get these wrestlers in spots that actually benefit them. Stop booking the shows with people that Tony Khan likes and book the shows with people that the actual masses get behind. And then use that to get the other people over, even the ones that Tony Khan likes. And if Tony Khan can't understand that and execute that, get the hell out of the way and hire someone who can. You're a goddamn billionaire. There's no excuse. No excuse. Nothing else needs to... What do you want me to say? There's nothing else that needs to be said at this point. I'm tongue-tied now, so I'm gonna get out of here. Give me your thoughts. Tell me that you like the video. Tell me that you hate the video. Call me a grifter. I hate that so much. So I come up here and I express my issues. Now I'm a grifter. Okay. Gaslight me. I don't care anymore. Because objectively speaking, it doesn't matter. Because the numbers show that the show isn't doing good now. So it's not going to do anything but make you guys look like assholes. Being assholes doesn't make people change their minds. It makes people like me dig in my heels. So how's about we open our eyes and admit that things are not doing well, so we can actually make necessary changes. Because if we don't, it will only continue to get worse and worse and worse before it gets better. 500K should be the biggest wake-up call. The one thing that makes Tony Khan go, okay, enough is enough. Time for a change. Appropriate, since we're doing the Owen Hart the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I won't hold my breath. I'll get excited when I start seeing some results. But until then, I'm gonna be up here talking about the awesome pay-per-views and still continuing to tell you why AEW is not doing well. Because that's my job. Don't like it? You know what to do. Hit the bricks. But those of you who are rational, reasonable wrestling fans, thank you so much for watching me. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment. You know what to do. Follow me on social media, donate, PayPal, Patreon. I'm going to get out of here. Take care of yourselves. I love AEW. And I want it to do better. But this ain't it. It's not it.